George Bush comes into office, Republican, does what you would expect. Screws up royally, but also spends a ton of money doing so. Gives a grotesque tax cut. This is within my own political memory growing up. Grotesque tax cut to the rich. Democrats bellyache, they belly-hoo about it. Oh, God, these tax cuts. Oh, George Bush, he's so horrible, he's so horrible. Keith Olbermann will get on his show, do a rant for the entire show. And yet, when Obama gets in office, what do you know? What do you know? 82% permanent. Those grotesque, horrendous tax cuts, the giveaway to the wealthy, something that would make inequality that much worse, and putting a hole in the government's budget. But Bush did. Something that the public is not even all that much on board for. Bush did. And Obama afterwards came back in and made them the overwhelming majority permanent. Trump, grotesque, also Republican. I have no expectations for him to do anything else with the whole deficits no matter stuff. Deficits and the debt really only comes up when Republicans are trying to attack Democrats, or for that matter, Democrats are trying to attack the left and complain about their limitations in regards to what they can do within the governmental space. It does not come up as an issue when they are giving away money to the upper class and increasing income inequality. I'm making the basic point that when Trump came out with that grotesque tax cut, my first thought is when Democrats get in, they are going to make it permanent. They're going to extend it. They're going to not repeal them. They're not going to roll those things back. So for all of the complaints and belly aching, I thought there is no way they're going to remove or roll back those tax cuts. The reason is because the Democratic Party is in the hand, or let's say the hand and the puppet in the same way that the Republican Party is. When they came out, what's his name? Klobuchar, the millionaire, billionaire, whatever he is, comes out and tells on national television, if you keep using that term billionaire, I will stop giving you money. Why is he saying that? You think he's saying it as a fluke? He's saying it as a threat. If you continue to talk about my wealth, if you continue to take policy or espouse policy, meaning from the Sanders wing of the party, you will lose my cash advantage. He's not alone in that. When the Republican Party was talking about that grotesque tax cut, you had the people in the back end saying, look, my people told me, my donors, to lose their number if I don't pass that tax cut. So I am making the basic point that your political system is being governed by cash. And I don't even think that people are shocked by that. That's maybe the most horrendous part about it. The people are not necessarily shocked by that. Now, Democrats are saying they're not going to roll it back. Take a look at this. This is the Hill reporting on those Trump tax cuts that they kept bellyaching about. Democrats back away from quick reversal of Trump's tax cuts. I would imagine that their donors, funders, enjoyed those tax cuts, whether you were on the Democratic side or the Republican side. And because they enjoyed those tax cuts, there is no impetus to get rid of them. Now, understand how weird this is. If you're looking at politics from the standpoint of your political leaders representing the interests of the public, you're in the middle of a pandemic, 30 million people out of a job, 40 million people without health care, fires to the left, floods to the right, and a pandemic everywhere in between that has eaten and eliminated 200,000 people from this planet, let alone the other 100,000 that I suppose we're grimly waiting to follow. You have evictions that are going to take place to the tune of millions. And all of this, like I said, is in the context of a pandemic. Trump has those grotesque tax cuts. Democrats are now even backing away from that. But from the standpoint of what you would think would be rational action from a party that is supposed to represent the interests of the left, what should they be doing now? Should they be going for Medicare for All that has 88% Democratic support? Should they be going for an extension of Social Security to ensure that the most vulnerable in our communities are not continuously vulnerable? Should they be getting rid of student debt, which would in and of itself be this massive amount of money that's dropped into the bottom segment of the society that would allow it to basically rise up? Meaning if you don't have all of these people paying like $1 trillion, well, at that point, those people have disposable income that they can now use for other ends, like buying stuff, like getting the products that they need, like getting married, like whatever. I'm making the point that there are policies that you could take place right now that your society agrees with en masse. Not even just democratic agreement, across the board agreement. If you're looking for a way to energize your campaign, if you're looking for a way to kind of deal with material concerns that the public, right there, that's what you're dealing with. But that's not what's taking place. I'm trying to show you this weird crack in this is what your public wants. This is what your public even needs to some degree in the midst of a pandemic. Versus, these are your priorities. And one of those is not to roll back those tax cuts. I'm saying how weird of a priority to not roll back the tax cuts that are grotesque, that the public massively disagrees with. However, the other priorities that the public does agree with, those are not on the agenda. This is the Hill. Democrats are backing away from vows to reverse Trump's tax cuts if they take control of the Senate and the White House. Senate Democrats have suggested they can move quickly on the issue, but now say that they're likely to delay standalone tax legislation if Democratic nominee Joe Biden is elected president and their party controls the House and the Senate. Instead, the priority will be on spending to create jobs and raise wages, investments in green technology, infrastructure, national plans to contain the coronavirus pandemic. You've had grotesque tax cuts already with grotesque inequality. The tax cuts that Trump has put through has blown a hole in the budget even before the COVID-19 thing hit. The Democrats who vowed to get rid of those tax cuts because of just the disgusting nature of what they even mean, where you're giving this money away to this particular class, where you have all of these people who are already in dire straits. Yeah, they're disgusting. You should get rid of them. But they're donors. We don't want you to get rid of that. And so they say, we're not going to get rid of it. We're going to focus on other stuff. Maybe part and parcel to what you should focus on is getting rid of those. But again, I had no expectation of that. So this doesn't blow me away at all. In fact, this validates my opinion on it and exactly what they were going to do, since the last guy, Company Man Obama, did the exact same thing. Like, share, and subscribe.